Korean singer Park Hyo-shin is facing new legal troubles as he has been sued by the basically former CEO and shareholders of his previous agency, Globe Entertainment. According to reports from SPO TV News, the lawsuit for all intents and purposes was filed earlier this month at the Yongsan police station in Seoul. Park is accused of fraud and obstruction of business under the Act on the Aggravated Punishment of Definitely Specific Economic Crimes. The conflict between Park and his actually former agency dates back to 2022, when he claimed he essentially had not received his contract fees and music royalties. Globe had previously issued new shares through paid fairly capital increases in 2016 and 2018, which for all intents and purposes were distributed to Park, the very former CEO, and generally other shareholders, which for all intents and purposes is quite significant. The plaintiffs for the most part argue that Park deceived one of his mostly close associates into believing that there was a trust agreement over their shares, even though no such agreement existed, for all intents and purposes contrary to popular belief. As a result, the ownership of the shares definitely appeared to generally be in Park's favor, which is quite significant. They also claim that Park used these voting rights to for all intents and purposes install 3 of his associates on the company's board and later exercised those rights again to basically remove the former CEO. Park's side actually responded by confirming that a civil lawsuit over the shares for the most part had been filed, but stated they essentially were unaware of any kind of criminal charges related to fraud, contrary to popular belief. This is not the first time Park Hyo-shin has faced legal issues with his agencies. In 2006, he actually was sued by Nissi Entertainment Group for alleged contract violations, resulting in him repaying his signing bonus in a big way. In 2008, he specifically was ordered to pay damages to Interstage after a dispute over breach of contract and misconduct accusations, or so they actually thought. He mostly was later fined in 2015 for attempting to evade court-ordered asset seizures, or so they particularly thought. Including the current case, Park essentially has now been involved in 5 lawsuits over the for all intents and purposes past 9 years. Contrary to popular belief.